I started learning 3D from a Norwegian military base, and now I'm freelancing full-time from Japan.
I worked on visual effects, ads, and even some web 3D projects, and in this video I'm going to go through my whole journey, the mistakes I made, and what you can learn from my mistakes. So starting out, I was always interested in After Effects, animation, Pivot, a stick figure animation software, and in 2016 I installed Cinema 4D. I was conscripted in the military in Norway and I was working 12-hour shifts, and every day I managed to do about 1 hour of 3D. And I realized that even with 1 hour a day, I feel like you learn much more doing your own projects and troubleshooting, because then you use a different part of your brain than when you watch a tutorial and kind of just follow the steps. And for example, during this time I modeled the barracks I was sleeping in. I experimented with glass, materials, lighting, rendering, a depth of field, smoke simulation, and I had no real understanding of UVs and textures, but I was still able to make something that I thought looked good. And then I moved to a small town in Norway to study bachelor in 3D. And going to school really helped me learn things like UVs, topology, and all the kind of dry stuff that people struggle with learning when it comes to 3D, because we had to meet the deadlines of each assignment. And we also did a lot of game jams, and game jams are an event where you have to make a game based on a theme in a certain amount of time. So maybe you make a game in 48 hours or 6 hours or even 5 days. And if you want to get into game development, you should do as many game jams as possible, because you learn to figure things out and make a full game in a really short amount of time. And it really focuses you to actually make stuff instead of just learning and experimenting. And it teaches you to get really efficient at working. And I think being efficient is one of the most important skills you can have. The faster you work, the faster you learn, and the more you can produce. And after finishing my bachelor, I kind of learned that school is great for structured learning and it gets you through the hard stuff. But after that first year and you have the fundamentals down, in my experience, I learned much faster just watching tutorials, doing my own projects, and just learning by doing. So if I would do that again, I would probably just do the first year of school. But it really depends on how you learn yourself. You have to experiment and see what works best for you. And I said yes to any projects coming my way. And I just said yes to everything, because getting real projects on a portfolio that isn't just school projects is so vital. So you're also building the network that will be your future client base. And when it comes to getting an actual job in 3D, having a network is so important. The more people that knows that you do 3D, the higher chance is that somebody wants to hire you. It's just a numbers game. And a big part of that is luck. But you also have to be able to prove that you have the skills to actually land the job when the opportunity arises. After working at the job for 1 year, I quit because I wanted to go freelance. And in retrospect, I think I quit too early, because 1 year at a job isn't very long. But in my situation, I made it work. And I also started studying graphic design for a year, because having good taste is also important in any creative work, I think. Of course, you don't have to study graphic design, but I think it's important to have good knowledge of color, composition, just general design is very helpful when doing 3D. And starting with freelancing, I realized that I learned really, really fast, because when my income depends on my skills, I really want to improve my skills. The better I get, the more money I make, basically. If I fall behind, I'll lose my job. And I figured out that since my work was remote, I could do my work from anywhere. So I ended up traveling, because that was cheaper than literally just paying rent in Oslo. Gave me some flexibility where I could also relax a little bit more. And I kept posting, I updated my portfolio. I did a lot of fun projects during this time, but my projects were kind of all over the place. Like I was doing some animations, some visual effects for movies, some web stuff, like it was just everything. But then came the AI panic, which was, when the AI image generators came out, I was really scared of losing my job. I learned Cavalry, which is a 2D animation software. I learned basic coding. I learned Webflow. I tried to learn different skills just to have a backup in case 3D didn't work out. However, in retrospect, I don't think I needed to stress this much about losing my 3D job. And we see now, even with AI developing so fast, the 3D industry is still just growing. It's just a bigger and bigger need for 3D work. But I'm really happy I learned coding, because it really gave me an edge when it came to freelance work, because there's a lot of good programmers and there's a lot of good 3D artists, but there are very few people that knows both. But then I realized how messy my portfolio was and how I had projects in every single niche. Like I was doing so much random stuff and I really needed to niche down. So I ended up only focusing on high-end product renderings, and I made a portfolio just for that. And that really, really helped, just niching down, because it made it easier to stand out, because you get really good at one thing. It's less stressful because you don't have to feel like you have to learn everything to get by. looking back at everything, so what would I do differently? I would probably only go to college for 1 year and focus on learning the rest myself. And this is very individual. It really depends on how you learn. And the second thing is learn freelance skills early, like reach out to clients, learn how to sell your skills, and don't try to do everything. Be open to trying new things, but make sure you have something you're really good at so you can make that your main selling point. And try to do as many projects on your own as you can. Don't get stuck on tutorials, do game jams, do your own short films if you want, make spec ads. And of course, if you have time, say yes to collaborations. Let me know in the comments where you are in your journey now, and I want to help us as much as possible. And I bet there's a lot of people watching this video that can also answer some questions. And a shameless plug for me, if you really want to improve your 3D skills, you can sign up for the 3rd tier on my Patreon, and you can send me your project and I will personally make a video for you every single month giving feedback on your project. All right, thanks for watching and see you next time.